One of the changes that happened with phase 3 of the PTS and after the developers had read through our feedback was the so-called buff of the Heartbreaker, which, to be honest, it's more of a nerf than a buff, but I think we all fell for it. More specifically, the developers have said, right now we're happy with what it adds to the game and there are no plans to change that anytime soon. We have looked at the conversation on the efficiency of the gear set and so far we're satisfied with where it has landed. That's what they commented on regarding the people who ask for a nerf. So I would assume it would be very accurate to say that they're not looking into nerfing the gear set, even though a lot of people are asking for it. If a nerf is needed, it's not the subject of this video, so I will not get into it. But the gear set got nerfed and not buffed, and I'm going to tell you why later on the video. The devs continue by saying the way it was behaving during phase 2 with stacks disappearing after 5 seconds instead of starting to diminish similar to the way Striker behaves was intended, but your feedback convinced us to do things differently. In phase 3 you can expect the following changes. You will lose 2 stacks per second instead of losing all stacks after 5 seconds. Regarding the blue cores that a lot of people complain about, they commented that while Heartbreaker has a damage buff, this set is also a durability one, thus the armor bonus you get from it makes more sense with a higher armor value, hence the blue cores. So we have established 2 things till now. The first one is that the developers do not agree with nerfing the Heartbreaker, and the second one is that the Heartbreaker is viewed both as a damage gear set but also as a survivability one, as a durability one. That's why we want to maintain the blue core attributes. However, if we look closer at the changes that the developers did, we will notice that both of those things are actually not true. Even though they say they view the gear set as a survivability one and they prioritize that over damage, the nerf that they did, the change that they did, prioritizes damage over survivability. And the second thing that doesn't add up is that even though they state that they don't think it needs a nerf, they're actively nerfing this to the ground, the survivability aspect of the build. So let me tell you what I mean. Before the change, you could reach max stacks, and when you would lose your bonus armor, you could easily stay behind cover for 5 seconds, reset your stacks, and start all over again, granting you great levels of survivability. So players who wanted to use this gear set as a tank gear set, they could do that by simply resetting their stacks as soon as they lost all their bonus armor. Obviously, by resetting your stacks, you lose your damage as well. So here comes the priority over what do you value more, the damage you get from this build or the survivability. Most of the players who I watched play with this build, they valued the survivability of this build because no matter how much damage you have, if you cannot survive, it doesn't really matter. In contrary, if you have a ton of survivability and the damage is average, you don't really care because at the end of the day, you're still alive and you're still clearing content. But this is not an option anymore. You can no longer reset your stacks, and effectively, they took away that playstyle. They took away the way to keep gaining stacks, because as soon as you reach your max stacks, people need to understand this, especially the console players who haven't actually tried this build out because the PTS is not on the consoles. This build does not work like the Striker from Division 1. Striker in Division 1, when you had max stacks, you were gaining a great amount both of damage and of health regeneration. Heartbreaker does not give you bonus or health regeneration, it gives you bonus armor, which means that in order to gain bonus armor, you need to gain stacks. As soon as you are at 200 stacks, you're no longer gaining extra stacks. At 100 stacks, excuse me. You're no longer gaining extra stacks, and that means you're no longer gaining extra bonus armor. So if you go at your max stack, if you are at 100 stacks and you lose the bonus armor because somebody starts shooting at you, there is effectively no way of you to reset your stacks and start gaining that bonus armor again. Of course, you will keep gaining bonus armor for the stacks you lose every second. So every second now you lose 2 stacks if you not shoot at somebody. However, let's say you stay out of combat for 5 seconds, right? In those 5 seconds, you will now lose 10 stacks. And that 10 stacks most likely means you will be able to gain an extra 20% bonus armor. Before, you were able to gain 200% bonus armor after those 5 seconds. They gave up on the armor bonus so that they can maintain the damage buff. That's what this is all about. People complained that maintaining the stacks was too hard and too difficult and they weren't gaining extra damage and blah blah blah. So they decided to sacrifice the armor bonus in order to make it easier to maintain the stacks and in order to make it easier to have extra damage. However, even though the damage bonus stays forever, the bonus armor will be gone. So yeah, you can reach the cap of your stacks and stay there forever, pretty much. However, you will not get your bonus armor, so effectively, half of the gear set is not working. It's like it's never there. You're not making use of the bonus armor by maintaining the stacks. If the developers are fine with it, that's okay. But they cannot come out and say that this gear set is also a durability one because they effectively took out the durability part. And I know that a lot of people would disagree with what I'm saying in this video, and a lot of people seem to believe that maintaining the stacks was hard. I'm sorry, but it wasn't. Okay? It really wasn't. You just needed to shoot somebody once every 5 seconds. That's it. The problem with PTS is that you have players who are console players, for example, and come and try things out on PC. They are not used at aiming with a mouse and keyboard, and then they go and complain that they cannot maintain the stacks. Well, yeah, no shit, because your accuracy sucks because you're not used to playing in this platform. You know what I'm saying? So this change that they did is considered a buff only if you care about the damage aspect of this build, which to be honest, you shouldn't, because damage wise, there are a bunch of better builds out there. Striker is better, a full red build is better. Survivability wise, this change nerfed this new gear set to the ground. You will only have high survivability while you're getting your stacks at 100 at the beginning of the gunfight. After that, you're screwed. Yes, as I said before, you will gain some bonus armor for every stack that you lose, but it's nowhere even close to the same amounts you were able to gain by resetting your own stacks. So damage-wise, it is a better build than it was before because it's easier to maintain the stacks up there, but survivability-wise, it really isn't. Now, before I end this video, I want to point out that in Phase 3, we do not have access to the Heartbreaker. So the gameplay in the background is from Phase 2, but most importantly, I was not able to try the new Heartbreaker out, so everything I just said in this video is a speculation of how the new Heartbreaker would work. It might be better, it might be worse, I might be completely wrong, but what it's clear as day to me is that the way I used to play with Heartbreaker and what made the Heartbreaker so good at, being a tanky build was pretty much your ability to reset your stacks and instantly grant yourself the potential to gain an extra 200% of bonus armor. Now that's gone. I thought that it was really ironic seeing the developer post saying that they don't want to nerf this and that they prioritize in a way the survivability and the durability aspect of this build, while at the same time they literally nerf the survivability and the durability aspect of this build to the ground. It was not something I was willing to not comment on, so to say. So yeah, as I said, this is just speculation because we cannot try out the build, but it's very clear to me that the survivability and the durability of the Heartbreaker gear set has been nerfed to the ground, and it will be at best just an average build. Because Heartbreaker before, the best thing that it offered was the high survivability. It wasn't the damage. The high survivability has been nerfed to the ground, and the damage that now it's easier to maintain, in a sense, it's not that great in order to use this build instead of a striker build or instead of a glass cannon build with full red attributes or whatever. So yeah, thank you very much for watching the video. Please make sure to leave a comment down below or let me know what you guys think. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you like the change or not. I'm all up for discussion as long as everyone is respectful to each other. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to support the channel, please make sure to drop a like and to subscribe. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye bye.